and I want to show you how to set up your QuickBooks Online integration. To get started, navigate to your lab settings, and there should be a new tab here called Integrations. So we'll go to Integrations, and the first time you land on this page, you'll see that we need to connect to QuickBooks Online. So go ahead and click Connect, and this will open a new tab. And the first time you go through this, you'll have to select the company that you want to connect. So a lot of people only have one company here. In this case, I'm going to select Test Company 2, which is the name of my QuickBooks Online company, as you can see here. And so then we hit Next, and this will grant permission for Quartzy to access your QuickBooks Online information. So we'll go back, and we'll navigate back to that settings page. There are a few important settings to establish the first time going through this. So you can see this page is now different. The first thing you see here is how should new items be handled. This setting dictates what happens in the case that QuickBooks has never seen an item that Quartzy is sending to it. So if you're ordering a brand new catalog number that QuickBooks has never interacted with, what should happen? The first option here of using Quartzy's template, if you leave this selected, it means that any new item from Quartzy will create a new item in QuickBooks Online. And it will use a template that involves the catalog number and a code for the vendor to ensure that it's always unique. And I'll show an example of how this looks when we do the actual integration itself. You can use another setting here, this one called use a default lab supply item. What this means is whenever it syncs something into QuickBooks Online, it will use a fallback value, in this case called lab supply. The description for each item will change, but this makes it easier to use a single account and tracking. So if you don't care about having discrete items for every single PO that for tracking after you make the PO, using this default option is a good option. You can use a custom default, so it's pretty much the same as this other option, except that you can call whatever you want. So maybe you want to call it reagents or something like that. In this case, I'll leave the template. The next setting on here is the default expenses account. So when we create a new item in QuickBooks Online, which expense account should it utilize? This list pulls directly from QuickBooks Online. And so I'm going to search, in this case, I've got job materials that I'll use. So when I create a new item via this integration, it will utilize the expense account of job materials. The default AP account most people would leave this as accounts payable. There's a case that this hasn't actually been set up in QuickBooks, and so we've surfaced it here as an option because it can cause an error if it's not present. So important to have this filled out, but it's not going to change for most people. Then there's two more settings on here. Do you want to include shipping and handling on your purchase orders? And so if I leave this as no, the tax and the shipping, either tax or shipping and handling, if you track this on Quartzy, it won't sync into QuickBooks on the purchase order. However, if you say, yes, I want to include it, we'll include either tax or shipping, whichever one you're selecting, as a single discrete line item on the purchase order itself. So these are optional. That's the way that we handle tax and shipping. So if you've gone through this set of steps, you're now ready to start generating purchase orders, which I'll cover in the next video.